Join the Dark Order.
Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Don't you want to sound rich?
Welcome to episode 40 of Social Suplex Podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. I'm your host, Floyd Johnson, and with me this week from One Nation Radio is the silky sounds of Mr. Rich Latta. How you doing today, Rich?
I love the intro, the silky sounds. I am good, sir. Glad to finally, officially, in a non-interview portion, get on and talk about All Things Elite with Floyd Johnson.
Yes, I was super excited. This is not Amy's week, so she'll be on next week. And Tiffany couldn't step in, so I was like, Rich said he wanted to be on the show. I'm going to hit Rich up. I was like,
yes,
you're
sir.
The only person I hit up. I was like, come on, let's do this, So
no doubt, man. I love AEW, and I'm going to, when I'm on One Nation Radio, I try to, I clearly got one foot in the AEW on that team, but I'm gonna put both feet in the spirit of this show. Full cheerleader mode here this week.
You know what? I'm the head cheerleader. You know me. I'm just like, stay vigilant. I'm not on the line. I tell you exactly what to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I want to start the show by reminding you, episode All Things Elite is brought to you by Powerslam TV. Powerslam TV, where you get access to over 4,000 hours of content from over 110 of your favorite wrestling brands from countries all around the globe, right onto your laptop and mobile device. If you use the code Social Suplex, you get the first month free. So, let's start with the big news of the week. I always pick up something in the news. This week, AEW announced quite a few signings. We already knew Big Swole had signed with AEW, but she got the official AEW background with her face in the front. Then they announced the official signing of Chris Statlander, which it had been kind of reported, but no one knew she was official because a lot of people,
you ain't see the graphic.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
That's the only way. And you had seen that she had signed. You had heard rumors of her signing with the WWE or whatever, so you didn't know if. I thought they might just been, pushing her to lose to Rio and then going about her merry way. But she's officially signed, and today they haven't got the placard, so it's not officially official. But it's been reported on several sites that Alex Reynolds and John Silver are both signed with AEW, and with some of the storylines that played out this week, that it pretty much confirmed that that's official.
Join the Dark Order.
Yeah, it looks like those guys are falling into that Dark Order zone, which I'm sure we'll get to later. I've got a whole theory here that I would just die laughing if this was the case.
Yes, on the indies they are known as the Beaver Boys. So the Beaver Boys have signed with AEW. It's great because you know what? Somebody's got to take the pins.
There are jobs to be done. As I hate to quote Cornette, but there's a job to be done.
Yes, he's like, hey, and people have been talking about different people that they want to sign with AEW, and it's like some people are like 30, 40 people in. I'm like, I got 3 that I really want, and I put my wish list out on Twitter. It's like I want Marty, of course, which I think is pretty much a guarantee. I might be wrong, but I think that's pretty much a guarantee.
Did you hear what just happened?
Yes, I did.
Are you aware of this?
Yes, I did. Just hear what happened, and I'm going to spoil it for all you people. Marty showed up at the end of the NWA show, and it looks like he's going to challenge for the title.
Which could be something, or it could be nothing.
It could be something, or it could be nothing. Again, NWA, they severed their ties. They severed their ties with ROH, and they've been really running independent. So AEW's been very, very open about working with anybody. You know what I mean? So that could also add another thread if that's something that they decide to do in the future. But the most exciting thing they talked about on MWA, and I know this is a ATE, All Things Elite. This is very much an elite podcast, but something that warmed the cockles of my soul is that they are bringing the NWA TV title back.
I saw it on Twitter. It is a beautiful belt. I was just wondering where the actual TV is located, but never mind that. It's a beautiful belt.
Because, by old NWA rules, if you're recording, you're defending the title. So what that means, unless the champion's in a tag team match of some sort, every episode of NWA Power will have a TV title match. If they're playing by the old NWA rules.
Yeah, man. Maybe Ricky Starks can go ahead and stroke daddy.
Stroke daddy,
as he calls himself.
Yeah, I like that dude. But I have not actually watched the NWA pay-per-view. That's just what I saw on Twitter. I actually bought it because I wanted to support. I want to support the NWA. I actually went to NWA. You remember I went to NWA 70, so I'm a big fan of what they do. So I try to support as much wrestling as I can. And since ROH is dead to me, I can now support the NWA.
Another one open.
Yeah, I watched my last show. I watched Final Battle, and I was like, oh, okay, that was a cool way to go out.
Final battle, as they say.
Yes.
Final show.
Yes. So that was that. But the news was those 4 people signing. But I said my wish list was, of course, Marty, Killer Cross, and Luke Harper. And Tessa Blanchard is on there, but I don't know when her contract's up. And I think she's very happy in Impact because she gets to wrestle men. And if you've ever heard her talk about the interview, that's what she prefers. So that's what she's always preferred. She prefers wrestling men. They let her do that in Impact. They're not going to let her do that in AEW.
Tony ain't going for it. Sorry.
Tony's not going for it. So if that's what she wants to do, but if she is open, man, I would love to have her in the division. She's one of my favorite wrestlers. But, me personally, rather her wrestle women. Just personal thing with me. Not big in the intergender, but hey, to each their own.
Yeah, some people like it. I'm never going to knock people for liking it. Just not my thing.
Yeah, I was at the Impact where she wrestled Sammy Callahan, and I was like,
that was a fascinating match. Wasn't that a good match?
Yeah, it was a well worked match. And I'm actually thinking about going to the January 12th show where most people think she's going to win the title. I'm actually considering it because I guess in small sample size I can find it entertaining. I don't think I would go watching Beyond or something like that. I think that's what it's called, Beyond. Where it's in every match. Like the one where she beat Brian Cage, I was like, no. This is like, no. Sammy Callahan is not a big dude. It's actually kind of feasible. But when she was dropping Brian Cage, I was like, no. I don't know. It doesn't work in my brain. I know it's all a work. I've heard all the arguments for it, but it's one of those things. You're not going to argue anyone into liking something, but
yeah, it's it just has to hit you.
Yeah, But I digress. That is my wish list. I mean, I've Killer Cross was like one of the first people on my wish list. But I'm getting to the point where it's like AEW's kind of got enough big names because someone has to lose. People like Brian Cage and some of the bigger names with other companies are going to want to come to AEW and lose every match. So it's like you got to kind of balance the stars to the undercard people.
Yeah, and that's why I think like having a guy like Peter Avalon is very valuable. Competent wrestler, can lose to everyone, will lose to everyone.
Yeah, and if you ever, have a lower to mid-card title, which if do what you do, I've always been like I'm for it, but if they don't ever do it, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
He would definitely be somebody that can be a challenger, to that title. I would never put a belt on him ever, but he could be a challenger to the title.
Yeah,
yeah. He like I said, you said it right best. He is a very competent worker. But yeah, so that was the big story of those four people, and then so we're gonna recap this week on Being the Elite because we're going to order. Start on Monday. This week's Being the Elite, I was watching, skimming through to see if there was anything storyline relevant. What the biggest things I saw, first of all, I feel like there's been some miscommunication between Cody and the rest of his boys because the first segment on BTE was a shot at the WWE. Bucks are running, and Matt gets tired. Kenny picks him up and reminds him, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon.
Yes.
It's like, so you keep running. And then he says, we're dead. We're dead. Yes. I'm like, direct shot at Triple H.
Just amazing.
Yes.
Just amazing. It was just like, these guys are so self-aware. They get it. They hear everything, and they respond in a way for, those of us that are in on it with them. It just gives us that much more to love. And I was howling when he was like, did we win the key demos at least? Like, Matt's just a whole ham.
Yes, it was amazing. It was like, it's for their fans. It's for the people that get it and that pay attention to everything, And then on the next scene, you see Matt on his phone, and you see some things on his phone. They like zoom in. And the things you see are, where do I find a villain? That was the first question. What is Triple H's net worth? Is Britt Baker a dentist? Hashtag join Dark Order. And then he's like, is that how you spell villain? Because I realized in that first, where do I find a villain? It was actually spelled wrong. And then it was like, is it spelled villain? And it was spelled right. But yes, some key things in here. Triple H's net worth was kind of funny. I wonder if it's because he threatened to buy and sell the AEW. And is Britt Baker a dentist? That's been a common complaint, is that they talk about her being a dentist too much. And, of course, where do I find a villain? Goes to my logic that I think Marty Scurll is a slam dunk. What do you think? Do you think Marty Scurll's a slam dunk?
I think he's at least a strong drive to the lane right now.
Yeah.
But I would say he's a dunk at some point. He'll probably end up in AEW.
I just go back to what Cody said last year. He says, we sat down and decided whatever we were going to do together. And if we couldn't do it together, we wouldn't sign. Marty was always a part of the group. So I just feel like it's like, you can't work with somebody while you're under contract, but you can negotiate and sign the next contract. So I personally think names on paper for Marty already. Of course, he's a secretive dude, so he's gonna play it up as long as he can. Nakazawa wants to get on the show. He's like, he sees that Sheeta's on the show. Kenny explains to him like she's a Joshi. That he's like, we need some body guys. Won't you go ahead and work out? fast forward, because there's actually a lot of stuff that really didn't matter in between there. And then you can see Nakazawa thinking about grabbing that tag to join the Dark Order. That's the only things I think that were storyline relevant. Did you have anything else that you remember that was funny or anything like that?
So the Dark Order is putting out recruitment letters, and shout out to Tiffany, who may have called this last week on the show. There's someone that's joining the Dark Order, and someone took the slip. They did a tease with Nakazawa and Cutler, but there's one other person who actually took the Dark Order website. Interested to see who it is. Oh, I'm sure someone on the internet has scowled and tried to compare hands with all the wrestlers on there. So if you're out there, who do you think it is?
Yes, definitely. I want to know your thoughts. Our great friend Tiffany, she called it at Hangman. She threw it out there, and I'm like, we will see. But no, I'm not the one to compare handprints. I can just wait. If you are that person, I commend you. We need passionate wrestling fans. I'm never going to doubt you or at all, but I'm not the one to do that. Then we got all right, so we got the AEW Dark recap. So first match, Scorpio Sky, Jimmy Havoc, Peter Avalon in a triple threat. Scorpio Sky gets the win on Peter Avalon with a TKO. What happened to Jimmy Havoc during this match? I think he ran off or something, didn't he?
I think he just got he was outside the ring somehow. I'm not sure.
But yeah,
there was a really cool spot where Scorpio gave Avalon the belly to belly over the top rope.
Yes,
and onto Avalon, onto Havoc, and it was like, don't see that one too often. And I thought this was actually a really good match.
Yeah, with the company that I've heard complaints that they got their higher ends, but the kind of middle of the roster is at a deficit. I don't know how long Scorpio Sky stays with SCU. I think he's a star on his own, really. And I think he's a star that the fans are kind of itching for. And I think, he has a spot right there in the middle. Especially, again, I've heard a lot about it if they do the whole mid-card, lower-card title thing. If they don't do that, keep him in the tag team, I believe.
It's funny because I think a lot of his initial credibility does come from SCU, and I think he is over to a degree. Like, there's clearly a focused effort to make him stand out because he's actually getting multiple singles matches. Obviously, he got the world title shot, which, was a point of contention for a lot of people, going into AEW. It's like, where are the black wrestlers and things of that nature? And it's obvious this guy's like a key guy they're going to focus on going forward. Like, he is a tag team champion. He's obviously he had a world title match on TV. So I wouldn't necessarily take him out of the group because you always have that value of SCU to be able to open up shows or close shows. Maybe they're just the AEW version of the New Day.
Yeah. And with the Scorpio Sky, I know we have this culture of wrestling where it's now. And it's like, maybe, build them up slowly. You know what I mean? Not everything can be done now. I mean, that's what, like, people are like, put the title on them now. Put the title on whoever now. And it's just like, no, you got to wait. Right now, I think the title in AEW is in very good hands.
Yes.
My speaking of, my order of the bubbly shipped. It'll be here next week.
Nice.
I'm excited about that.
You got to try some on air.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely try some on air. That'd be fun. Then we get a join the Dark Order vignette where they actually accepted a new member into the Dark Order because he wanted revenge, and they believed that was definitely fits into what they're going for. And then, you had the Louis dude, and he said he just wants friends. And I don't know if he was accepted or declined, but he got the shit beat out of him, it seemed.
Yeah. They were on him like white on rice. They were on him like the Undisputed Era on Tommaso Ciampa's head. Like, it was a jump zone.
I was like, I don't know if after he got beat, he got accepted into their group, but that's not a good recruitment video. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They had to be careful with the Dark Order propaganda because like they're so well produced videos and they're really engaging. But if they show any type of slight thing that things aren't on the up and up, I think it might have issues on their they might have issues with recruitment.
Man, this has been the best thing ever because
like I don't want to get beat up when I join the Dark Order. Like come on, man.
Yeah, accept me. You said you would take me because I'm a loser and make me a winner. Come on. You can't beat me up. I mean, they got to join the Dark Order website, the hashtag Evil Uno's posting every day. Man, this is like you always say when you talk about the other company, as I call them, they'll have stuff like this, but they don't go that extra mile. Man, AEW's all in on joining the Dark Order.
We should see a blimp that says join the Dark Order, like over the Jaguars game. Like
yes.
These are the type of things I want to see.
Yeah, the only thing I would love to see is like, Cody's like big epic entrance, like in the middle entrance, just go join the Dark Order. And then it continues through the entrance. Because this entrance is so, it's so over the top. I love it, but it's ridiculous. I admit that it's ridiculous.
Every week.
Yes.
Every week. It's like do the opera joint at the pay-per-view matches and then just hit the music for the rest of them. Like this man, he's gone, bro. Like he's on another level.
He gets his WrestleMania entrance every week. They didn't give him his one for his 10 years, so he's taking it every week now.
Yes, back pay right here. We've been here for a long time.
Yes. So yeah, I love it. But yeah, if he could just in the middle entrance join the Dark Order, that would crack me up. Jurassic Express. This was Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. They beat Alex Reynolds and John Silver when Marco Stunt pinned Alex Reynolds after like a double team neckbreaker move.
They kept Jungle Boy out of this match as to not give him a win.
Yes, he still has not won a match. I thought that was pretty creative because I was like, they want him at 0 when he fights Chris Jericho, which is kind of awesome. Then we get a backstory of Big Swole. I guess this was the undesirable to undeniable, but they didn't really claim it as that. It was just telling about
video pack.
Yeah, it was talking about her battle with Crohn's and how they were telling her that she wasn't going to be able to have kids. She wasn't going to do all this stuff, and then never going to be able to have a career in athletics. She then had a kid. Now is a career in athletics. Now signed with AEW. It was a pretty powerful story because shit. Dude.
And I'm rooting for Big Swole because she's like from the same city I kind of grew up in Clearwater, Florida. So she's like I used to see Swole at Shine shows that would happen in the Tampa Bay area. So I got kind of a personal investment in seeing, hoping Big Swole does well. So it was good to see it went over so well. Obviously, they showed Kenny Omega signing her, basically saying they love to have her back, and that's always just good to see how happy everyone was, to have her around in the backstage area. It's just like that nice family atmosphere in AEW.
Man, as much as people had talked shit about the women's division, 4 weeks ago, man, they went and fixed it, didn't they?
Look, man, it's going to get real hard for people to come out here and cap. And I'm letting people know now, this is going to be one of the strengths of AEW. Like when it takes a while to get those things rolling. Like there's no Chris Jericho here. There's no John Moxley to import. There's no Kenny to import. But what they do have experienced wrestlers like Riho, like Emi Sakura, who people can learn from. They do have prospects now, like Statlander and Swole and Britt Baker. Add her in there. You have ringer veterans that have been around, like Shanna, who you got people like Nyla Rose that are just completely unique in their own right. You have Awesome Kong, who we don't know what she has left physically, but she's got enough aura. You can always call in Aja Kong, who can always work. I don't know, man. It seems like, and I looked at a lot of the American Indies. I think the only couple people that aren't really in AEW that you can say, hey, they should probably go get them too, is like Mercedes Martinez and Nicole Savoy.
Yeah.
You can do a lot, like, I don't know, man. I think they did the best that they can do, like, unless they're going to turn it completely to a Joshi division, which it looks like they're not.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the women's division here in AEW.
Yeah, they really did upgrade. It was a concern early for me. I will say that. Allie I actually like as a wrestler, but putting her in a ring with Brandy, the problem with certain wrestling, when you have a certain person of a skill level and they are there with someone that has significantly less skill, it's a whole different skill to make you look even. Mm-hmm. And early on, I don't think that was there. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't pull you up. And when two people of two different skill levels are in there and the other one of the people is not, adjusting, it looks really bad.
And look at it like this. Like, we had essentially traded out Allie and Brandy into managerial roles now. Yeah. And inserted Statlander and Big Swole.
Yeah. I mean,
that's nothing but an upgrade.
nothing but an upgrade. And because you're putting the talent around Britt Baker so heavy, she's, she's still kind of green, but she's going to have veterans that can make up for it now.
Yep.
And so you're going to see her look a lot better in matches because she's in there with people that are better than her. So that's how you get better. So I look forward to.
I would say look for the AEW Women's Division around into shape rather fast.
Yeah, because I thought the match we'll talk about later was a definite improvement. We've gotten some solid matches lately. Then we had Kenny Omega pinning Kip Sabian in a match. I will tell everybody, if you got time, go watch it. It was a really good match. I'm not saying 4-star, but definitely 3.5. I thought Kip held his own. Kenny did what he could to make him look good. Finished him off definitively with the One Wing Angel, and then you got the stuff with you got what's her name, Penelope Ford. I don't know who's a fan of that or who's not a fan of that, but it looks like that's just going to be a part of the act. So it's kind of one of those things I can live with it.
Yeah, it's not the first heel woman manager we've seen do Hurricanrana's "What Up, Zelina Vega," but I think it's a cool act. For whatever they're going to do with Kip, and this is it's a play for the future. Dudes from the UK, so I'm sure there's fans that are coming with Kip Sabian to see him, and this is every great wrestler in his prime versus a young guy. I felt like, and I thought it was an excellent match. Kenny did give him a lot. I think he gave a lot to Penelope Ford too, because she did multiple moves to him. So that was Kenny being his normal giving self.
Yeah, Penelope Ford has 3 spots. She has the Muda thing, she has the Hurricanrana like Zelina Vega does, and she has that stunner. Those are her 3 spots. Whenever I watch her wrestle, I think she's basically average except those 3 spots. So be prepared to see those 3 spots a lot.
Hey, do what you do best.
And I'm fine with it. That's what I like. I think it enhances Kip Sabian. I've always thought, if you have a woman that is very attractive next to a man, it enhances his likability. I think it did the same. No, I think it did the same thing for Andrade. Andrade was a great wrestler. Always was a great wrestler. But when did he blossom?
When Zelina came around.
When Zelina came around. Just having her there made him more formidable. And that's what I'm saying. The same thing can happen for Kip Sabian. But yeah, so that was AEW Dynamite. Another solid show. I like that they get their stars on there. You know, you get a Kenny, you get a Cody, you get the Young Bucks on the show. Gives people a reason to watch. Plus, like in this one, it used a different way to get Swole over. And they did the same thing with Shauna. They haven't did it with Chris Statlander yet, but I like her in the mysterious role as the alien. So, they do a good job of using Dark for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Statlander's hilarious. Her promos are weird, but she's a literal alien. So,
yes.
Keep that in mind.
Yes.
It may not be for everybody, but I find it amusing.
Yeah, we got a vignette where Brandy was asking her alien to come home, and asking her alien to come home, and it's like, we'll see. Nightmare Collective's cool. All right, AEW Dynamite recap. It was from Garland, Texas. I was live in the building.
How was that?
Yeah, that was fun. I went with about 10 people. 10 people from my little wrestling group. Caleb from our chat was there too, and it was. I did something I never do. I don't know if you know about me. I'm a very punctual person. Man, it felt like everything in the world was keeping me from getting out on time that day.
Man.
Yeah, so it was like my friend that I was picking up, I was about 45 minutes late. And he's like, "Man, I thought you might have gotten an accident or something," because I'm literally never late. That is kind of one of the things I'm known for, is that I'm super punctual. And it was just like, it felt like the world was against me. I was catching every stop sign, caught a train. I was like, "Oh, this is so annoying." So we leave about hour and 15 minutes after I want to leave. Then we catch, so it's straight down 35 to Dallas. And we catch 2 wrecks on the way down there. So we're already running late. And we're just sitting there in the wrecks. And I'm like, know what? I'm not, the goal is to make it by 4:30 so we can do the pre-show signing. I was like, There's no way I'm going to make it. Using my special speeding skills, I got there at 4:37, and surprisingly, there wasn't a lot of people. Like, I wouldn't say they're not a lot of people, but I think they take like the first 100 for the meet and greet, and there was not 100 people waiting on the meet and greet, so I didn't really have to rush at all. I could have walked in. Like, there were people that walked in like at 5:30 and still got the meet and greet.
I saw it. Swole was out there. Who else was out there?
It was Swole, B. Priestley, and then the chairman, Sean Spears. And then the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy was a group thing. So just to let you know, when you go to these things, the individual people are $30. So it was either, if you wanted the chairman, B or Swole, that was 30. If you wanted the group picture, it's 50. And from the people I've talked to that have done these before, that is the standard pricing for everyone. No one's more than 30, and the group is 50, which is pretty reasonable, Yeah. So I had never not met Big Swole, so I did Big Swole and B. Priestley because I just wanted to meet her again. And then my friend Ryan wanted to meet Sean Spears, so that's what we did before. Swole was awesome. Got to tell her, talk to her. We did the interview with Montezi. Told her I was looking forward to her new music, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to." She was excited about everyone to hear it, and I also got to tell her that I was like, and I don't know if you agree with this, with like every wrestler. To me, women's wrestler, men's wrestler, you can always say, this person reminds me of this person reminds me of this person. Mm-hmm. There's a very select few that are so unique on their own that they don't remind you of anyone. And I told Big Swole I found her as one of those people.
I would agree because, look how many, all right, compared to men's wrestlers, there are a lot less women's wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Now we get into black women's wrestling, like wrestlers. Like, it's even smaller. Like, I don't see a Big Swole like a Naomi, I don't see Big Swole like Jacqueline. I don't see a Big Swole like, and like Alicia Fox. Like, and the message there is like black people are not a monolith. So
yes.
So, but I think Swole is like I remember when we saw her in the Mae Young Classic, it was just like she's a ball of charisma, fire, happiness, excitement, and I think she's like she's very unique in that like respect where she has her own style, which as you mentioned is rare. Like, people have their own styles, and I think it's something that not only AEW needs, like wrestling needs.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling her, and she's like, I'm just me. She's like, I'm just me turned all the way up, and I was like, yeah, and it's unique, and it just sticks out. It's just like from the moment she comes out, it's just like you're going to pay attention to her. Even if you don't know who she is, you're going to be like, okay, because she just has this way.
Like, you got the name, you got the music, you got her bouncing to the ring. Like, she's got like a nice, presentation going.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling her. I just respect. I respect where she came from and where she comes from, because, like I said, I wasn't that familiar with her. I had only seen her in the Mae Young Classic, and then I've gotten more familiar with her as I saw she was signed with AEW. I watched some of her YouTube. I'm like, okay, I'm really looking forward to how her style meshes with a lot of people's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Because it wasn't that long a line. You did get to talk to him for a second.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, she was really, really, really nice. And apparently she had listened to the show when the one with Teasy was on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was cool. All right, so let's get into the Dynamite recap. Jon Moxley beat Alex Reynolds. It's like, it was almost like they wanted to start off with a promo, but it got shat on so bad last time. They gave him an 8-second match.
Set the record.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that knee to the head. I was like, dude, did you? And then he DDT'd him. Like, man, with that knee to the head, I don't think the DDT was necessary, man. He just wham,
just dropped him.
Yeah, he just dropped him. And then John Silver jumps in, and he got a paradigm shift for his troubles. Jericho came out with all the inner circle. The inner circle surrounded the ring, and Jericho cautiously got in. The gist of this conversation is he invited Mox to join the inner circle. He said Jericho. Moxley standing next to Jericho was unbeatable. Now, I can say from the interview, I did like the whole, you asked me how to get over in the WWE. When you lost your passion for wrestling, you asked how to get it back. I love that he took these real life threads and wove them into his interview.
Yes, it's like I basically gave you this platform on my podcast for you to talk to the world. Like, it was just excellent. It was like you guys know the story between these two, but they're gonna play off of that and tell you some more things you may not have thought of. Who did Moxley wrestle right before he won the championship? Chris Jericho. Now, was the feud all that? No, it wasn't. But there was a lot of things, wrong with that. I feel like we're not going to see any pod plants this time going upside someone's head, but unless it's like some ironic type thing. But I really enjoyed. This is Jericho at his championship best. This wasn't goofy Jericho. This was like tactical, afraid Jericho, and he really doesn't want any smoke with this man. He's like, hey, join the inner circle. I got news for you, Chris. Dean Ambrose ain't really looking to join no more groups. Excuse me, Jon Moxley ain't looking to join no more groups.
Yes, I took this and I said this to the person next to me. This is what professional wrestling promos should be now. Take a little bit of reality, put a little wrestling spin on it, make it work. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't a cartoon. It was a man that has a title that is trying to protect his title. And he realizes the biggest threat towards his title is standing right across from him. And the best way to get this guy from beating him up is to get him to join him.
Join my side.
Yes, it's simple, easy to follow. No person can listen to that promo and not understand what Jericho was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wrestling, that's what wrestling is. So he puts the shirt on, he leaves. Moxley leaves to big fanfare. His pop when he came out was kind of amazing.
Yeah, he got a lot of love, it sounded like.
Yeah, because it was like in the crowd, it came off like explosive. Then I kind of watched it back on TV. It was loud, but it was kind of deafening. And it was like, man, everybody was cheering for him. And it was because I don't think anyone really expected that to start off the show. Then we got Cody's entrance. So Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny came out first. Cody came out with his entrance. QT comes out with him. Does the apple toss, and we get the match started. Biggest thing at the beginning of the match, when QT gets tagged in, there is a section of the group that came across really clear on TV where they were yelling Cody's partner.
I did hear that.
He didn't even get a name. He was Cody's partner. I'm in my seat laughing really, really hard. Like, I could not control myself. I was like, dude, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
You got called Cody's partner.
Oh man, yeah.
But when they called upon him and they gave him the ball, he ran with it.
Man,
he kicked ass.
Yes, this was so fun. This was like way better than it felt like it had any right to be, based on how the Butcher and the Blade kind of came off last week, where everyone pronounced them dead in the water on arrival, but apparently that's not the case now. QT Marshall was excellent in this match. It was like he didn't quite have all the skills, but he tried damn hard, and it was like he was doing these flips, and it was like, yo, if he's just going to come out here and be a high flyer and, a high flyer that ain't got no business doing high flying, I'm with it. Like, just keep bringing QT out. He got himself over. And the crowd loved this match.
Yes.
Loved it. Went nuts over it.
Oh, God. He had all of us.
I loved it, too.
I was like, we were like, you come into the match knowing the Butcher and the Blade can't lose their first match, right? You're like,
Yep.
They can't lose. But he had me. He had me hooked. When he hit the kick and then did, I think, the crossroads, and he went for the pin, I was like, they won. I was like, they're going to give us the win. And then he didn't win, and then he got pinned. And it really did have me hating the Butcher and the Blade. Like, someone that the people that I really didn't have any type of emotion to one way or another, by the end of that match, I hated them because they beat QT. And you got a QT Marshall chant.
Yeah. Butcher and Blade looked like a force to be reckoned with. They're mean. They're ugly. They cut the ring off. They look like they're in the right spot to be like, I'm really interested to see them against the Young Bucks, if that ever happens, because it seems like they'll be like,
they're classic tag team wrestling.
Yeah, it like there was an Adam Cole Ricochet match that I have an affinity for, where Ricochet did everything spectacular, but Adam Cole was there to make it all be spectacular. And I kind of got that vibe from the Butcher and the Blade. Like, they feel like guys with experience, and they feel like guys that have been around and know who they are and what they are and what they were outside of AEW, and is what it looks like they're going to be inside of AEW, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they kind of look like pro wrestlers from my childhood. It's like you're in shape, you have muscle, but you're not like ripped up or muscular. You just look like tough guys. Like, yeah. When
I don't want to run into the Butcher.
Yes, nowhere.
Personally.
Yes, and it's like people talk about a dark gimmick. They're really not. They're more like a
I don't
Western
get
gimmick.
that vibe at all.
Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
like a Western gimmick. You had those two guys that'll fuck you up in the Old West, the Butcher and the Blade, and they just run together because they can beat. They know they can't beat each other up, so they decided, you know what? Let's just
We gonna whoop everybody else's ass.
yeah. And then you got the bunny there. It works to me. It works. I don't like I said, people were kind of lumping them the Dark Order and Brandy's thing, and I'm like, this week went so much to they're nothing like the Dark Order. Don't even say they're in that realm. It's a whole different thing that they got going on.
Yeah, Buddy got to explain the Gimp mask though. I gotta know what was behind that.
Yeah, I definitely need to know what's behind that. That's a little weird. But they hit the QT with the suplex onto double knees. I thought that was a pretty creative finisher, and that's how they pinned him. Cody's looking.
It hurt.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's like Ced's move, but with two people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cody's looking dejected after the match. He's sad that he lost, and they basically do it through the I don't think they go all the way to commercial break, but it happens during the commercial break. Cody's on the ground. Darby Allin comes up, and he just sticks his hand. He bumps the Butcher and the Blade coming out, and then he grabs Cody by the hand and pulls him up, and they kind of look at each other, giving themselves that knowing look. We find out later on social media, because that is one thing that you're going to have to accept with AEW. I've heard it as a complaint. They tell their story on TV, on Dark, and on social media. They use all their platforms to tell their story. So the rest of this story, Darby Allin tweets out that, hey, Cody, I'll be your partner. Just if we win, I want our match. I want my rematch from the match that we did the draw at. And I thought that was perfect. Perfect. And then again, backstage interview, Cody says, I accept, let's do it. So they're doing it next week. Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes versus the Butcher and the Blade. What do you think about it?
Man, that's like wow, who's gonna lose? Like it's like, do you have the Butcher and the Blade go down in defeat, or Darby Allin is a guy that they've protected, I would say pretty well. Aside from we pretend the Shawn Spears thing didn't happen at Fight for the Fallen, but Darby's been progressively getting more over, and he's one of my favorite young guys in AEW. I firmly believe he's going to be the champion one day, and I like it. And I like the fact that they'll go back to him and Cody, because I was actually in the audience for that match. There was a loud but small vocal Darby Allin contingent, and that was us. So huge fan of Darby Allin, and him and Cody were great last time together, and it kind of pulls like Cody's not really aligned with the Elite right now, it seems like. In this promo last week said his brother's busy, Bucks are busy, and Kenny's off in his own world. But putting Darby Allin into this thing as kind of a sub character for the MJF thing is like, hey man, it's showing that AEW is not afraid to tell multiple stories at once and hope their audience gets it. It doesn't have to be, just so on the nose, so black and white. Like, there's stuff that they're throwing out there for you to catch, and if you catch it, it feels like you're gonna be rewarded for it. I remember when he said, Scorpio Sky, you're never gonna get a shot at this. I thought about that when it happened. Like, what? I wonder. And just put it away. And then 2 months later, it paid off. So these are all things that I think couldn't come into play. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this match, because we don't know who's going to win.
We definitely don't know who's going to win. I'm like, are they going to go Cody and Darby, them get the win, and then January 1st we get the Darby and Cody match, or is the Butcher and the Blade going to win? Or will we see any interference from MJF? There's a lot of threads there, because technically they work for MJF. So
Right.
There's a lot of ways you can go with it. It's one of those, I love it. It's the exciting parts of wrestling where you just want to watch and see what happens.
Yep.
Next out, of course, after the Cody, MJF. He comes down to the ring with his Wardlow backing him up. That's a big old dude. Even like in person, that's just a big mass of a human being. And MJF, man, I talk about Cody being so amazing on the mic. MJF, this is like a fish in water, man. He with that mic in his hand, not a lot more people more dangerous.
How did he get so good at this already? It's like, where did he practice this? Like, I don't know, man. Like, this dude talked about his lisp.
Yes.
He talked about
his piss-colored hair.
Hair.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He talked about, Honkyville, USA. He talked about just the precision that he does this thing with. And it's like, it feels like he never runs out of lines. Like, this is a dude that in another era would have been just fine doing all the talking. And he really stands out. And I don't know, like, I guess Cody may be a career rival for him now, right?
Yes. And as a heel, it was funny. It was fun that he used the line from Roddy Piper, because he gets a lot of comparisons to him as far as being how good he is at drawing heat. And I remember when he did the Jericho interview, he's like, that's who he studied. He studied the masters, Classy Freddie Blassie, Roddy Piper, the people that just knew, Bobby Heenan, the people that just knew how put a mic in their hand and they can make you hate
quick.
them. Yes, so quick. It's like, and he knew when to stop. That was something. That's what the geek wrestling fans know. He knew when to stop and let the crowd boo him. And when they were going "fuck you" or whatever, he waited. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He didn't just hurry to get his lines out there. He made it where he was interacting with the audience.
Yeah, he's so good of a talker. I don't care if he ever gets any better as a wrestler. Like,
yes.
he's like, yo, he gonna be here.
Yeah, punching kick
for the next couple decades. Like, he's gonna be here.
Yeah, he's what WWE wishes Baron Corbin was. I know I call him the other company, but yes, he's like so good on the mic.
It's like he's so good, he's still a heel. Everyone still hates his fucking guts, because how dare you talk about Cody like this?
Yes.
And as you mentioned, Baron Corbin, it's funny, like, all the manufactured heat that they have to do for him. This guy just walks to the ring with a mic.
Yeah, just put a mic in his hand. I mean, sometimes, like, the looks that he has on his face makes you boo him. He's just so good at finding that focus of the person and just riding it, He's just, man, it's like, it's hard to boo him. I boo him because I know I'm supposed to, but I am in awe of his talent at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a Dark Order vignette where Alex Reynolds is in his hotel and he is being recruited by the Dark Order. Man, this was well done.
Yo.
Man.
So, yeah, from the cutting in and out the wrong way, and it's funny how Dark Order targets people that have these terrible records. So I fully expect one day, I hope someone says, I'm going to beat you so bad, or I'm going to beat you so many times that Dark Order is going to try to recruit you.
Join the Dark Order.
They're targeting these people that suck, and it's like this unspoken thing that, all right, such and such is a target for the Dark Order. Pretty soon, they're gonna be circling around the librarians like, hey, when y'all join this Dark Order, pretty much.
I think Peter Avalon would do about anything to get out of that character.
Yeah.
No, but
Dark Order is funny to me.
Yes, I was like, and then you got John Silver comes in, and he didn't know what the hell's going on. He's confused. And Alex was like, nothing. I just thought that was pretty cool the way they did it. And it can be a long story, It doesn't have to be something. They can do a long build. But, yeah. And that's what I was talking about. When they did that, I was like, are they signed? I even asked them. I was like, are they signed? because all they've done is ever lost. So I didn't think they were sticking around, but they were used a lot, so it works. Big Swole versus Emmy Secure. Did you hear Big Swole's music?
I did.
Yes.
Shout out to Tizzy.
Shout out to Tizzy. She was rapping most of the time on it. I guess it's not for sale yet because I couldn't find it yet, so I'll buy it when it is. It came off really well, like live, you saw like the people next to me. This might not be their type of music, and they were kind of bobbing their head. It's like, oh yeah, yes,
clapping on the ones and threes.
Yes, they was yes. So yeah, they got one with that one. They definitely got a hit with that song. It's like when you see people like this ain't my type of music, but they bobbing, you like, okay, they got you.
Yep.
Yeah, they got you. And she was against Emmy Sakura. They had a really good match. It was good. They were where they were supposed to be. I loved the spot with the microphone and Swole going into the splits, James Brown gimmick. I dug it. I thought it was cool. Yeah, Emmy Sakura. Emmy Sakura is like, people think she's a very solid wrestler. It's just, her gimmick doesn't really go that well in America. To me, that's how
it's confusing because it's like she's a bad guy, but she's doing the "We Will Rock You," but she's being sneaky in front of the ref, and then she's so likable on Twitter. It's like it's all kind of confusing with her for me.
Yeah, and it's like you Freddie Mercury, who a lot of people basically universally loved, is who you doing a cosplay of. It's just like, why are we supposed to boo you again? It's like, yeah. But Big Swole gets the win with her ripcord spinning forearm that's called Dirty Dancing. Sheeta was in the front row, and she was shocked that Emmy Sakura was upset by Big Swole. She then goes on Twitter. I'm translating the best I can that basically the level of the AEW's women's division has stepped its game up. It's like the level's been raised in the AEW women's division.
Yeah, all we had to do was swap Brandy and Allie out, and and put Penelope as a manager too.
I am very much more of Brandy in the managerial talking role. I think that's what she's for, and I think as you see this talent there, and as she gets more comfortable, you will see it even blossom even more. So I think it's just sometimes you're casting a crew. Sometimes people get cast in the wrong role.
Yeah.
But you can fix it, and it looks like they have. And so then we get Pac on the interview, says he wants his rubber match. He's done everything he can. He's had dominant victories. He will not be held responsible for what he does next if he does not get his rubber match with Kenny Omega. Is Kenny Omega dodging Pac?
Seems like it, right? It seems like Kenny's like just trying to move on and live his life, but Pac was like, "Yo, you beat me. This will not stand under any." We know he cares about his wins and losses. Pac does, but I think Kenny's maybe preoccupied elsewhere. But I mean, I'd love to see the match again.
His attention's about to be grabbed if he don't accept Pac's rubber match challenge.
Yeah, he'll grab the attention with a chair in the back of his head, like he did that one time.
Yes. We get Kip Sabian, super bad, coming to the ring. Then we get the chairman, Sean Spears, who doesn't have Tully behind. We see an interview with Tully that says he's basically looking for Sean Spears a partner. And tonight they're going to try out Kip Sabian. I thought that was a nice little touch to the random tag team match. That was a nice little explanation to why are these two people that don't like each other or have anything to do with each other tagging up. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
finally Tully Blanchard gets to talk, but it was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So they are wrestling Hangman and Omega. They seem to work well together, but anytime Omega tries to high five or get a fist bump or anything from Hangman, he ignores them and goes past them.
A little bit of tension there.
Yeah, we get a little bit of shenanigans where we get Joey Janela tying up, rolling out a tied up Tully at the top of the ramp. So, of course, Shawn Spears goes to fight him, leaving Kip Sabian by himself. Kenny Omega's just hits the V trigger. It's about to do the one wing angel. Hangman blind tags him in, hits the buckshot lariat, and gets the pin.
Yeah, about a month ago on BTE, they kind of foreshadowed a Hangman Kenny thing, so it looks like they're going to slow burn this, and I would assume it's going to peak. They're probably going to be each other's next pay-per-view opponent. Looking forward to it. Both of those guys could use a big win, and I'm is this the first like real elite infighting? Like I know we had the Rhodes versus the Bucks had that one-off match, but
yeah, they all hugged at the end of the match.
They hugged.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
look
like a hug coming.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think Hangman and Omega's going to hug after their match.
Yeah,
yeah. So
elite versus elite. So
I was always the one. I don't know if you remember from earlier shows. I said Hangman should be the one that turns on the elite. I've always said it. He's the one that needs it. I mean, if he's going to take that next level, he has to stop being looked at as the elite's little brother. And that's how he's looked at right now. So they get the win on, let's just say, Hangman gets the pin over.
Also, that Joe Janela shit was goofy as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know. It needs to have a blow off match so we can be done with Janela and Spears because I'm good.
The fight, and I don't like using this word very often. The fight even in the crowd, the fight looked really fake. Like they weren't throwing blows like two people that are supposed to hate each other. You know what I mean? It was the working punches weren't very effective to me. So maybe that's just what I saw, but I'm looking in the back and I'm like, good Lord, they look like they're barely hitting each other.
Yeah, I think they got to figure something out with them too because I'd rather see them both wrestle other people.
Yeah, and Janela has a unique way of getting over. He's almost like an attraction guy that I think if you have him wrestling every week or performing every week, it almost exposes him. Mm-hmm. So I think you need to use him less, but in big spots. You know what I mean? I think they're running in the same thing with him and Jimmy Havoc. They don't really work in regular wrestling matches that well. So it's like, what do you do with them? And it's like, you can't just have them in hardcore matches every week. So I don't know. We will see. He's done a lot to get himself in shape. He's lost weight. He's cut up a little bit. So, he's definitely taking it serious. So we'll see where it works out.
Maybe he can help Mox fight off the inner circle or something.
I don't know. I was thinking him and Darby Allin could help at the time, but then they did the Darby Allin with the Cody thing. So maybe it goes there. I have one thing, and dude. So Joe Janela comes out in the tights. Something I noticed: the dude has no ass. The tights do nothing for him. I think a change of gear might be in his future.
Which is crazy because he just kind of switched to these like new pants that he started wearing in AEW. Yeah. Before I think he was wearing the underwear joints before.
Yeah, well, he needs to have Cutler's wife Denise hook him up with some padding back there because
do we have to get him in a singlet and quit playing?
I was going to say, because he is straight back, and it looks very weird. It's like, I don't look at dudes' butts, but it is so noticeable. It is so noticeable that, I'm looking like, good Lord, that dude has no ass.
That's funny.
It's like, Then we have Brandy, and she's asking Chris Statlander to come home. The alien needs to come home. Then we see a guy. So I'm guessing a guy. It was from the back. It looks like a dude, and he was bald. And she's like, "We're gonna wait for later on that." And
so apparently that guy, his name is Dr. Luther, and I guess he's one of Chris Jericho's friends. And I think the guy's in his 50s. He was like a wrestler in like the Canadian Indies, I believe.
Really?
So, yeah. So we'll see what that is.
That Rich dropping the knowledge there. I had no idea. I was just like, I just thought it was some random bald guy. I thought it might.
I saw someone wrote it on there. I didn't know who it was when I saw him.
Yeah, so. I thought it might be Sunny Days or whatever.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I figured it would just be some, like extra kind of character. Then we get
the Nightmare Collective. Like I'm still waiting to see where it's going. I'm not giving up on it. And I really want Brandy to do well at something. I've talked about on One Nation Radio. I feel like Brandy gets a lot of she gets a lot more piled onto her than she actually deserves. So I'm kind of rooting for her to do well with this.
People hate her because they think she's only famous because of Cody. And if you think about it, until Dustin, she was the only one using the Rhodes name. Mm-hmm. So there was I think there's a lot of residual hate that comes from that. I think she's talented, always have. There's always room for someone that like her in wrestling. It's just like, I think there are a lot more people worse than what she is. Yeah. And I don't
there are
like
people that act like she's the worst thing to enter the business. Like they freak out and I'm going to talk about this more on the FOH draft, but it's a larger thing with AEW. But for Brandy, they freaked out when they saw her on a truck. They freaked out when she's doing anything in public, public relations wise, they freak out on her Twitter mentions all the time. It's really bad to be Brandy Rhodes out here.
Yeah,
online at least.
Her attitude is perfect because she really does not care what people think about her. That's not like a gimmick.
Look, I hope she doesn't.
Yeah,
if she did.
Yeah, that's not a gimmick. That's not anything. That's who she does not care. She's used to people hating on her, and she's okay. She's like, whatever. Work on yourself, that kind of thing. Then we get Luchasaurus and Sammy G. I'll ask, because I did not hear it, and you actually watched the TV. How was Chris Jericho and I'm guessing he didn't say anything. Hager on the mic.
Jericho was excellent. He immediately came out with the definition of lexicon that Excalibur said he messed up, but he explained it. He was awesome on commentary as normal. Everything Chris Jericho does is awesome. Hager sat in silence, which is the best usage for him, so he knocked it out of the park as well. So besides that, it's just a standard.
It's kind of funny, the many different ways Mr. Hager was used incorrectly. That just him being a big badass that doesn't talk it ends up being what works for him.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. this seems pretty simple. I don't know why we didn't think of this. So, yeah, because he's a big old dude. Luchasaurus pins Sammy G with that slam. It starts in a tombstone position, and then it's a front face slam. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, because it's like you see him, I'm like, just do the tombstone.
Yes.
But he does that splash thing, and it's like, well, he doesn't really even drop down. He just kind of falls. I don't know. I think he can get a better move.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know. That's just horrible.
Can he just powerbomb people like Kevin Nash, or do a tombstone?
Yeah. I was like, it's just kind of anticlimactic anytime he wins a match. It's like, that was it? Okay. Yeah. All right. You just did
Sammy G and squash out here damn near. So, can we give Sammy G some wins, please?
Yes. But it's just like with Luchasaurus, he does all that cool shit and then leads up to a lame finisher.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you can do all this and then you do that move. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but they gave Sammy G a lot of offense. I was shocked. This match lasted longer than I thought it was going to last, and he got the offense. He got a lot of offense in, and that dude, he's just so good, but he loses every time. It really does get hard to take someone serious after a while.
Luckily, he's the young guy in the inner circle, so he can afford this.
He's there to take the L's, and everybody else, gets their wins.
Yep.
Jericho attacks after the match. So Hager goes after Luchasaurus. Jericho goes after Jungle Boy. He throws him out the ring. Jungle Boy skids the cat. He comes back over, does a Frankensteiner roll-up, and then Marco just comes in and counts the 3. So Jungle Boy gets a visual 3 count over Jericho that doesn't count.
Yes. Clowns.
Yes. I just thought this was like, okay, this is for a perfect way for somebody's like, oh, he doesn't have shot against Jericho. They at least show the visual 3. That was pretty cool. But I was like, the smarky people was like, man, that was kind of cheap. That kind of thing. Yeah. So then AEW announces Revolution announced for Chicago in the Wintrust Arena. This is going to be a part of C2E2 on Saturday, February 29th. What do you think about them hitting Chicago again? Because I said again with the exasperated tone because I am the one that goes to all these damn things. And and I'm going to Chicago again.
Are you tired of going to Chicago again?
Yes, I am tired of going to Chicago. I understand.
I don't really get it. I don't know why they're going back there again that fast. I'm like, are they trying to kill the town? Like, I don't know, but
Rich Craich literally on Voices of Wrestling begged that company stop running Chicago for a few months. And Tony Khan gave him a big old middle finger and says, we're on our way back.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I like the show name. It goes back to the spirit of the promotion being born. This is a revolution. It's not the fanciest thing in the world, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be something stupid. It doesn't need to be anything like that. So I'm down with it.
Yeah, I hate themed pay-per-view names. War Games never happened at a show called War Games. It was Fall Brawl. It was Fall Brawl, and War Games happened at Fall Brawl. So It was like, oh, you could do a Fall Brawl without a War Games if it came down to it. So you don't have to force a War Games match. Revolution, you can get whatever kind of match you want because Revolution is not really a theme, and I like that better. I'm looking forward to the show. I'm thinking we're going to get Mox and Jericho. I think we're going to get Cody and MJF.
Yeah, I would think they're going to do that too.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Everything else is kind of, it's 2 months. It's 2.5 months away. So everything else is kind of up for grabs.
Do you think they could get away with not doing Cody MJF yet?
I would prefer that they don't.
Okay.
I would actually prefer that MJF sets out the stipulations on January, and they're like really impossible for Cody to meet, and maybe he has to fight Wardlow maybe they do Cody versus Wardlow at Revolution to get to MJF. Because MJF is not that great a wrestler, I say put off the match as long as you can, and then.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, when you finally do the match, people are begging for it. They're like, so if MJF just comes out and punches and kicks the whole time, it's going to be hot because everybody just needs the match.
Right. Maybe they can parlay this into Cody and Darby Allin against Wardlow and MJF, and then you save the singles match. This is something else for maybe Double or Nothing too, and be Cody and MJF then, and you built it up for, at that point it would be 6 months or whatever. But it would be really tough to do it. But I
It's just an idea. I know they're going to do it in February, but I'm like, could they get away with trying something here?
Yes.
I don't know.
Big thing I don't want them to do is Cody's career is on the line.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
No, it just like, I'll do whatever. It just like everything in me is like, are they going to try to say he wants Cody's career?
Oh my God.
Because that would make no sense to me. But yeah, 10,387 is part of C2E2, which is a Comic-Con in Chicago. I'm imagining some of the wrestlers will be in the show. I'm hoping Jericho does a signing because I think he's like the only one on the AEW roster that I haven't met. So,
man,
yeah, so I'd like to meet Jericho. But otherwise, I will be having some Stan's Donuts in extra because this is in downtown Chicago. So the other ones were in Schaumburg, and people would always ask me, why am I eating TGI Fridays every day? I'm like, we're not in real Chicago. We're like 40 miles away from real Chicago. There's not like a hot dog stand on every corner because we're in the suburbs. We're not, we're not in there. So we're going to be in downtown Chicago. So I'm going to go see the Jordan statue, that kind of crap, and then watch some wrestling. But yeah, when you're in Schaumburg, you are far away from Chicago. It is not close. It is not like around the corner. It's like, if you take an Uber, it's like $45 to get to Chicago.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's not close at all. Then, so that was announced. Like I said, I'd rather them go to a different city. I'd heard New York and Los Angeles. Those were the two I'd heard, and I would have been happy with it. But I'm pretty sure C2E2 came in there with a number that, as far as, the whole stadium being cheaper, and I'm thinking that had something to do with it, and they get something else to bring new fans in.
Smaller building too, so they should have no problem really selling this out.
Yeah, and they started doing pre-sales this week. For Austin and Huntsville, their AEW fleet sent out a pre-sale for Austin. I mean, and they hadn't been doing that before. So I imagine they're going to do a pre-sale for Chicago too. I don't know if it'll sell out. I think it will, but I don't think it'll sell out in like 20 seconds.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to announce a main event 2.5 months with 2.5 months of TV left. I don't think they're going to announce a main event before. Yeah. I don't think they're going to announce a main event before Friday. So
yeah, I mean, we know it's Jericho and Moxley.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I'm buying I'm buying the ticket. I'm like, I'm going no matter what. But yeah, I think it's going to be Jericho Moxley. Then we get the main event of the show. The Santana and Ortiz, a.k.a. Proud and Powerful, wrestled against the Bucks in a street fight that was sanctioned. The winner to get a number one contender spot and to face SCU on TV. The dopest thing in the world. Proud and Powerful jumping the Bucks while the money gets shot up in the air. I just thought that was so cool. With the socks full with baseballs.
When they come up with that stuff, it's just like, they pop me every time. Like if Santana's shooting at the screen, or Ortiz is doing the back rake and then throwing up like the fingers.
Yes.
I listened to an interview with them on the Chris Van Vliet show. Just interesting guys and huge fans of them. And this match was awesome.
Yeah. I thought this match, it was exciting to watch, and it was hard to keep up with. And it was like, they put the table like right where I was sitting. They put the table, they set the table up, and they had to move all the fans out the way, and then they do it with like all four of them goes through tables, and it was exciting. Like I said, I don't know how it played on TV that well, but it was really exciting.
Yeah, man, it was a good look to see the Bucks get a big win here, which on national TV there haven't been an abundance of them. And now they get a chance to win the tag team title. So
another match. We don't know who's going to win. As at any point, obviously the Young Bucks could be the champions, and then SCU is, kind of just getting started in their reign. So, but yeah, as far as the main event goes, credit goes to Nick Jackson for battling through the flu. They said he was, laying down all day, and
he had to shake.
There were people that were like, "Hey, we're gonna pull you from the match," and he was like, "Hell no, we advertised this." And when he got in the ring, he was like, the Nick Jackson that you always see.
Yes. I thought this was a great, good, solid, overall episode. It was what I call their traditional, their flagship kind of episode where it starts off really exciting, ends exciting. You're waiting for next week for the what happens next. That is, to me, that is the formula for Dynamite right now. So you got to start exciting, end exciting. I think that's their brand, and I think that's what they have to stick with. I know they're going to have weeks where they can't do that every week, but I think this is what will build the fan base the best. It's like you get action at the beginning of the show, you get action at the end of the show, and then you get all the other things, the storytelling in the middle. So, yeah. But, so ratings talk. This was an interesting week. 778,000 to 778,000. So if you're that one person that has TNT in Independence, Missouri, that decided, oh, man, I'll just watch it tomorrow, this is your fucking fault.
Their lack of vigilance
has
led to such a result. Yeah. So when I saw that rating, I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, look, man, there needs to be a winner and there needs to be a loser. I was like, this is the first time I've ever looked at these ratings and then been like, this is all so dumb. Like, why we think about this. And this is the first time I felt like this. Like, this is all so fucking dumb. Like, and it just made me be like, fuck Vince McMahon for putting them on the same night. It's just like, y'all just in the way. Like, y'all trying to distract from what the fuck's going on over here in AEW. And then you see it from, like, the NXT side. It's like, well, fuck, it's just a tie. Like, no one likes a tie in anything. Name one thing that a tie helps with.
It is deflating. I got my alarm to go off at 2:05 every Thursday so I can get up because Alvarez posts the ratings and I saw a tie and I went back to bed angry. I retweeted it and then went back.
It's like let us know if AEW won or they lost.
It's a tie. And apparently we won in every demo except
so that's still a win.
Except 50 plus. But
Geezers love their NXT.
Yes, the Geezers are dedicated to their NXT. It's like that's the whole thing with the NXT, their floor. The Geezers have it on USA. They've watched their marathon of NCIS, and now it's time for NXT to come on. Whether they're awake or not, they're getting that rating. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So
and then
we apparently killed them on DVR.
The demo number for AEW is dropping, so it is concerning, like, on that. But it seems like it's still so early to really pull from a lot of these numbers, like, before a pattern is established. I'd be interested in seeing 10-week data from whatever's there, but I want to see this stuff in January, February, March, before I'm like, okay, this is what it is.
Yes, and
we've seen a lot of fluctuations here.
And this is where Stay Vigilant comes in. It's not just about making sure you're watching every week. I really do want to make sure you watch. But the thing that's going to make AEW succeed or fail is the ability to add new fans. You know, their number needs to be, I'm not saying right now, but eventually it needs to be growing. So that's what I mean by staying vigilant. Tell your friends, tell the people that you know that used to watch wrestling to give it a shot. I mean, they might not like it, they might not, whatever, but to give it a shot, to tune in on Wednesday and watch AEW. And because you know what? You do run into, even with me wearing the shirt, jacket, everything, and being a cheerleader, I run into people every day that has never heard the letters AEW and has no idea that there's a different type of wrestling. And that's what Stay Vigilant is about. Tell people about the show. I'm not saying be like some kind of religious person telling them the gospel of Cody Rhodes. I'm just saying.
Go door to door. Are you prepared for real wrestling's return?
No, just say
you not.
Just talk about the damn show like you talk about a show that you like. Don't be ashamed to like wrestling. That's all I'm saying.
You ever heard of the Young Bucks?
Yes. Let me tell you about some real wrestling.
Oh, man.
No, but yeah, that's all. That's what it is about. It's like, I don't, like I always said, I don't want to take fans from the WWE. I think there is a crop of people out there, just like Tony Khan's vision. There's a crop of people out there that just quit watching wrestling.
Or there are people that have quit in the last couple years.
Yes. And there's a crop of people, and just say, hey, just give this wrestling a try. See if this is closer to what you remember wrestling is. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I know I come off as somewhat overprotective, which leads into our next topic. Cody Rhodes is on Busted Open Radio. My guy, Cody. And everybody knows he's my guy. I do preach the gospel according to Cody Rhodes. We kind of let me down this week. He's on with Tommy Dreamer and Dave LaGreca, and he says AEW and NXT need to learn how to get along. That AEW fans are a little protective of the product, and sometimes we let them get away with stuff that we shouldn't let them get away with, and it just comes off as negative. And as a person that does listen to Cody Rhodes and pulls up every interview and every tweet he says, I feel like his company was built on being negative to the WWE and NXT.
Yeah, it's
I feel like that's the backbone.
Definitely an element of that there.
I feel like if people didn't hate the WWE, AEW doesn't exist.
You could say that.
So,
argument.
To kinda, I wouldn't even say he turned his back on his fans. He kind of turned a shoulder to his fans.
See, I think he's trying to play nice with WWE to try to turn the heat down on this thing, or he's doing something, or he's working somehow. I feel like this is a dog whistle for him. Like he knows that the AEW fans ain't gonna listen to none of this shit, and I think he's gonna try to get some of the people off his back, essentially. But I don't think it'll work.
My big thing is, the only thing I take from this is don't be gatekeepers. I joke about being a gatekeeper, but don't be that. If someone wants to be AEW, welcome them with open arms to AEW. But still, as a fair fan, a person that watches NXT on Thursday, on Wednesday night, on Thursday,
delayed
after. Yes. On Wednesday at 7 o'clock, it is fuck NXT. It's that simple. It's that, there is no doubt about it. There's no hesitation in what I'm saying. Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Wednesday nights at 7. NXT is the fucking enemy. And I don't see it any other way.
Vince McMahon literally tried to hate. So,
you making me choose. So I'm going to choose.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not, like, I'm watching AEW, so,
All due respect to Cody, and like anybody want to watch AEW, hey, I will sit down and talk about it, tell you about All In, being the Elite, and all that stuff. But you have to talk about NXT, I'll say, man, you can watch it on the network on Thursday. I won't even tell you what time it really come on. If you ask me.
We don't know what time it comes on.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm busy. I'm busy doing anything but watching NXT on Wednesday night at 7. Because as I told a friend that asked me, why am I so insistent? Well, if NXT, let's say next week, this 1.5 million people that are watching wrestling, 1.4 turns on AEW and like 100,000 turns on NXT, and NXT just tanks. NXT is still going to come on the WWE network, and the WWE is not going to even fucking notice. If AEW's numbers tank, they go out of business.
Correct.
So as a wrestling fan, you should be supporting AEW.
And one thing I can say to like what Cody was saying, like fans need to get along more. There are a lot of people that if you are an AEW fan that you will be able to spot who are consistently attacking AEW in bad faith, because there's a lot of it out there. Joe Lanza spoken at length about the microanalyzation of AEW, which is like baffling. Like, think about the truck thing. Do you remember that like week or two?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't even know who's on the WWE trucks.
Yeah, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, so a lot of this stuff, and Cody's played into it too. Of course, he broke the throne, but this is what like his fans want. Like, this is what the AEW fans want, because obviously we like, and even like, it's not a thing that we insist they do. Like, if they never took another shot at the WWE again, I would be fine with that, because ultimately I think they already stand on their own. This is something that they do for a pop. It's not an essential thing. Like, yeah, the promotion wouldn't exist if they didn't say fuck WWE like 3 times a month or something like that. It's not like that at all. What I think is like, yo, when it's not dope, the fans will let you know, because there will be a point like, all right, man, y'all doing it too much. But like, I don't think they do it enough, but I don't think they like, has Cody done anything like too bad besides breaking the throne? A slick line and a promo or two, but it's like, that's unscripted wrestling. That's wrestling. Like, like they're not pretending a whole world doesn't exist. So I'm, I don't really like, I don't try to tell like you, Floyd, I don't try to tell people not to watch NXT. I'm like, yeah, enjoy it. Cool. Let me know if something's tight on there. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, promotion I like is AEW.
See, this is how, with me, I have Finishell on the Messenger. And
every week
I'm watching AEW, he's watching NXT. I'm telling him cool stuff that happens on AEW. He's telling me cool stuff that will happen on NXT. I'm gonna watch it when I watch it. He's gonna watch it when he watches it. He loves NXT, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. I love AEW. It's not a big thing, to me. It's not like we out here fighting.
Yeah, and I do think it's a lot more civil than sometimes it can appear, because keep in mind there are a lot of bad faith people that are on, I hate to say this, on both sides, because to quote the president, but there are a lot of people that will just zoom in on WWE for literally anything. There are people that will zoom in on AEW for literally anything, but I feel like there are a lot more reasonable minded people than a lot of people realize necessarily, and there's no reason to go, like,
you can tell in 2 seconds who's actually watching the show.
Right.
And
Like,
it was just
I'm not about to go out of my way to argue with somebody that has convinced themselves that Chris Jericho is defending the title against Jungle Boy and the whole rating system should be thrown in the trash, and they're making like huge long threads about it. There's no reason for me to engage with that person. Like, none, because they're clearly like, and I think the sooner we can navigate the social media discourse, like, of who to actually engage with and who not to, I think all the fans will be in a better place. But
yeah. Because if you follow an account that's like AEW Fan 34 and they got no picture, don't listen to them. They don't represent us. They just don't, you know. My name on Twitter is Floyd Johnson, and it is at Floyd
mine
Johnson.
is Rich Latta.
Yes. My opinions are mine. They're like, you know what? You can go through my
face
Twitter.
is on there.
Yeah.
You might run into me over a WrestleMania weekend or something. I exist.
Yes. I might say smart shit. I might say dumb shit. But it's me saying this shit. You know? It's me. I'm standing behind what I'm saying. It's just like these little faceless accounts, and they're like, and people call them AEW fans. And I'm just like, we'll see what they say, you know, before I... You know, they'll follow all things elite account. I won't follow back until I know what they're saying.
Right.
Because I don't want to be associated with that. Because I don't want people to watch AEW because NXT sucks. I want them to watch AEW because they enjoy AEW.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much. I think it's the better wrestling product. I think they're both good wrestling products. I think it's the better wrestling product. So that's the one you should be watching. So that's how I feel. It's like, I'm like, I know sometimes I might come off unreasonable, but I'm a very reasonable person. I watch it all. I watch pretty much as much wrestling as, I think Jeremy Donovan definitely watches, and Jeremy and Joe Lanza, they both watch more wrestling than I do.
Yeah, Jeremy watches everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'll walk in, Jeremy will be watching MLW episodes. I'm like, yo, how'd you find the time?
Yes. He is hardcore. They watch more wrestling than me, but I watch a lot of wrestling. I'm in that upper tier. So it's not like I'm just like, oh, I don't watch WWE or anything like that. It's just shit. As I always say, my secret shame, I have a WWF tattoo. So I ain't going nowhere.
That's right. I think I heard you say that before.
Yeah, I'm like, I have the tattoo. So it's like, but I watch AEW first. I think their product is just better. It reminds me of wrestling growing up and what I have evolved to as a wrestling fan. You know, me and WWE about 2-3 years ago started growing apart like any relationship. I started wanting more out of my wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all that happened. That's all that happened. It's like they have a product that a lot of people enjoy. A lot less people than they used to enjoy it, you know, but they have a lot. They have a product that a lot of people enjoy, and I'm just like, you know, yeah. But I'm just saying the trends are there. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie. I remember when I was in high school, it was 8 million people watching, or it was drawing 8 ratings. I don't know if that means 8 million people. It was killing. I'm like, you could not come. It was like one of those things I will always say. When I was a senior in high school, you could not come in to the room on Tuesday not watching wrestling. You were spoiled. There was no spoiler alerts. There was no nothing. They were talking about wrestling, and it's just. It's not like that anymore. I mean, I get that from my wrestling community, but a lot of people don't even know who the big wrestlers are anymore. I think we can get partially back to it being hot again. It's just, you know, people got to watch it.
Right. Yep. Stay vigilant.
All right. Well, we got a bit more of a preview for next week, and then we'll get out of here. We got 5 matches. First, we got Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander for the number 1 contender spot. I guess that's going to lead to a match versus Rio January 1st in Jacksonville. What do you think about that matchup?
Oh, man, that's a exciting matchup. I think Statlander has brought a great new energy into AEW, and being somebody that
looked like they were going to fall into the WWE that AEW was able to just yank and put on their roster. Oh, it's a huge strength for them. And Britt Baker's kind of like the last person that didn't have a match, so that's kind of how I feel like she got up in the rankings. Sheeta took a loss recently, Emi Sakura took a loss, and then Britt kind of gets bumped up from that. So I look for Statlander probably come out with a win here, and then we can move forward with Statlander versus Rio.
Absolutely, I think Statlander. I think Statlander's just a call. I don't think seeing Baker versus Rio again this early is the call right now. Statlander, they've built up. I don't know if you belt her up, but you definitely put her in a position for the January 1st show.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got the Cody Darby Allin versus the Butcher and the Blade. We were just talking about that. We don't know who's going to win that.
We don't know who's going to win. It should be good.
It's going to be a toss-up. I mean, I'm going to go Cody and Darby because I want to see the Cody and Darby match on the first. But Butcher and the Blade, man, I'm like, I kind of dig their tag team. It's like, I dig how they work. They work. It's very much like an old school tag team. Then
I'm gonna pick Cody and Darby also.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then we get Brandy and Kong in action. I don't know what that means. Probably Kong squashing someone. So
as long as they cut more hair, we'll see it.
Yes, you got to get scalped. Then we got a big match: Hangman and Omega versus the Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
This should start the show, I think.
Yeah, I think you got to pick the Lucha Bros in this to win.
Yeah.
Hangman and Kenny, their slow burn continues. This should be. I'm very intrigued. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, we'll see some dissension there. Would be good. Then we got the Young Bucks versus SCU for the tag team titles. Probably going to be the main event.
And
I think Bucks go into the new year the tag team champions.
I think it's time to belt the Bucks. Yeah. And I don't say that like saying SCU like did a bad job or anything, but it's like, why are we even playing with it? Like the Bucks should be getting focused on, and I think you build up to whoever's going to knock them off. And the Bucks have done plenty of losing in the lead up to this, to where it's like, it's not like a self push that is inorganic. You can always put the belts on the Bucks at any time. It's going to work. They're draws. They have great matches. I always want to see more of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and it's just like they got over Private Party. SCU's over because they're the first tag team champions. Lucha Bros established as a great tag team. They put over Proud and Powerful. They
got matches. They've got matches with all them to do. So
they've done their jobs. It's time to put the belts on them now. And I think this is a Tony Khan decision because I think the Young Bucks would have probably let it if they go with the titles on them. I think this is like Tony Khan, like, okay, you're getting the titles, like a veto type thing, because I don't think the Bucks would have put the belts on themselves for a long time, personally. It looks like another solid show. We'll probably
Jericho and Jungle Boy.
Oh,
10-minute challenge.
Yeah, it's Jericho and Jungle Boy 10-minute challenge. I don't know why that's not in my notes. I talked about it earlier in the show. Jericho Jungle Boy 10-minute challenge.
So many ways they can go with this, and they're all good. Like, you can do a 10-minute draw. You can have Jungle Boy win. You can have someone fuck him out the win.
You can have Jericho, have him in the walls of Jericho, and maybe he taps out
straight.
Yeah, taps out with 3 seconds left. You could do it that way, where he almost makes it to 10 minutes. You can do it a lot of different ways, and I'm looking forward to it because I have not seen Jungle Boy wrestle a lot, other than I don't think has he wrestled a singles match?
He was in at Fyter Fest. He was in a Fatal 4-Way as a single.
Yeah, but I was like, but just 1-on-1, what do you got? Again, Jericho's been great at building stars, so I have no doubt that he's gonna make Jungle Boy look amazing. And so I'm really looking forward to next week. That's what I like to, it gets my blood boiling. It gets me excited. It makes work a lot longer because I'm ready for the show. So I'm looking forward to what's happening this week. But yeah, then we're gonna have. Then we got AEW Dark next week. I tweeted the Dark matches out. I don't remember what I tweeted, honestly, but I did tweet the Dark matches out. I remember the main event was Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends
against a hybrid 2 and Pac.
That match was amazing. And
yeah.
Orange Cassidy was so over. So over. But then we got we got that match. It was our main event. We got B. Priestley versus Chris Statlander.
Looking forward to that.
We got Britt Baker versus Machiko. Machiko is an independent wrestler from Oklahoma. And then we had Private Party versus SCU. So that was all on Dark.
Sounds like Dark is loaded. Yeah. Tune in.
Yeah, 4 matches. Dark's loaded. Like I said, I always tell people that, don't, necessarily have cable. I always tell them about AEW Dark, and that's a way to keep up with the show if you don't have cable. So I definitely kick them the link and say, hey, check this out. But that's it, Rich. We did a show together.
We finally did it.
Yes, and I thank you for being on the show.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, I was like, when you say you wanted to be on the show, I was like, you did? I would have asked you like a long time ago.
Man.
Yes, I was like, dude, yeah. So I definitely appreciate it.
No doubt, man. I love the show. I love AEW. I, been itching to, let it all out all the way. So, looking forward to another great week of AEW. Is probably one of their biggest shows of the year coming in their short history coming up next.
Because
into 2020, this is the real test, as I've often joked. It begins now.
Yeah, the competition's coming hard next week. I'm not gonna promote what they're doing, but just saying they're trying hard. So you can follow Rich at RichLatta32 and at One Nation Radio, right?
Yep.
One Nation Radio drops on Social Suplex every Sunday night. This show will be dropping out early Sunday morning, so listen to this show and then wait for Rich's show to come out Sunday night. You get double Rich. That's all you need in life right there.
Look, and if you check out my show with the Chad Matthews, Triple Rich on Sundays.
Triple Rich.
Unbelievable.
Triple Rich. It's like Starbucks, and we asked for it to be Triple Rich. And then, of course, make sure you're following at Social Suplex and at AT Elite Pod. That's the All Things Elite Pod. We'll be doing some contests coming up soon. Just get some more participation with questions and things like that. So it should be fun. So that's Rich. You got anything else, Rich?
Join the Dark Order.
Nah. Check my YouTube channel out.
Yes, check Rich's YouTube channel out. I will make sure the link is in the bio. So for Rich, this is Floyd reminding you, whether it's home, work, at school, always do your best to be elite.